Hi, everybody. Well, it's been about a week since I last updated. It's just been a crazy and emotional week, and so much has been happening. And I haven't had the time or energy to really do much of anything other than pretty much just survive, I guess. Um, I apologize right now. My allergies are really acting up. It's that time of year, and so I'm losing my voice a little bit. So I'm probably going to keep this a little bit short. Just as an update, I had an appointment earlier this week to talk to my family doctor because I had to have my thyroid cleared before I was going to be able to start my IVF. Anyway, so I went in to see my doctor. He had me draw 7 vials of blood a couple of weeks ago and have an ultrasound done on my thyroid just to see if if anything would come up before he said that I'm clear and I'm good to go. Sorry. So when I went in for my appointment, he had my ultrasound results, but they had no record of my blood work being done. I spent the entire day calling everybody and their dog, just trying to figure out where on earth the blood test results were. At this point now, we start in less than 2 weeks, and I need that letter. I need for my thyroid to be good to go so that we can cycle and everything's going to be good. So they couldn't find the test results. They had no record of me even going into the lab to try and get my blood work done. So my doctor gave me another rec to go and get the blood work done. They took 8 vials this time. I don't know why they needed an extra one, but so I took 8 vials of blood, and they said it should be back in 3 to 4 days. And that was Wednesday, so I'm guessing early next week sometime. I go back on Tuesday to have a follow-up, and hopefully everything will be good then. They on the ultrasound, they found what they called a multinodular goiter. I guess basically it just means that I've got like little, like, not really gross, kind of like cysts, I guess, that are enlarging my thyroid. So they said usually it's nothing to worry about, but they just want to make sure all the blood work's good before everything before he says that everything's good to go. So he said it's pretty common with people with autoimmune thyroid condition. So I'm not too worried about it. I just want to make sure that everything's fine. I hate waiting for test results. I am one of the most impatient people you will ever meet. Which is not something that's good when you're going through fertility treatments. You need to have a lot more patience than I have. And honestly, I am not a patient person at all. So this has been very, very trying for me. Just as it is for anybody else. So I guess I go back next week and get my results. In addition, though, I found out while I was at the doctor's office that apparently I need permission to do my IVF cycle. Now, under certain conditions, our insurance does cover IVF. Because we're in Ontario, IVF cycles are partially covered by OHIP, the provincial insurance, if you have bilateral tube blockages, which I do not. This is going to sound kind of funny, but I almost wish I did, because that would make things so much easier. In that case, IVF is covered, but that's not the issue for me. I don't have it covered. And because I don't have the cycle itself covered, I found out that apparently my meds won't be covered either. Now, I had been told prior to this that my meds would be covered, that the meds were covered across the board, that it didn't have to be just for the bilateral tube blockages. And this is for our private insurance, not for the OHIP coverage. So that was a bit of news for us. Thankfully, I'm hoping to still be able to be covered under my husband's private insurance company. I'm still on his policy, so it shouldn't be an issue, but it doesn't cover nearly as much. Sorry. So the other thing, though, is that I need to have permission in order to be allowed to do my IVF. Now, this may sound a little ridiculous, but in my job, I'm actually required to have permission to do the IVF so that I can have the time off that's required for the cycle. Now, I'm not taking a whole month off. I'm not taking 2 weeks off. I'm not even taking a week off. But I need to have that covered just so that I can have the time off for monitoring in the mornings. And generally, if I'm able to get an early appointment, it's not a big deal. I'll be maybe 15 minutes, half an hour late for work at most. But I'll still need the day off for egg retrieval and the morning off for the transfer. My clinic doesn't do mandatory bed rest or anything afterwards. So, basically, I'll just need the morning off, and my doctor said that I can go back to work that afternoon. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, women get pregnant all the time. I don't need to be laying in bed for days worrying and stressing out about what's going on inside my uterus. So I'm perfectly happy just to go back to work. But I still need permission in order to be able to be allowed to do that. So apparently it's got to go up to Ottawa, to the head guys, and say, that I'm approved, or they've got to approve that, and so that might take a little time. I'm hoping the person who's able to do the paperwork comes back next week on Monday, so hopefully she'll have a little bit more information on that. And hopefully it won't take too much time, but honestly, I'm a little stressed out right now. I mean, we were told in beginning of February of 2012 that we were going to need IVF, and we have been postponing and postponing due to various medical issues with my husband, with myself, financially, with with my job, with everything. And now finally, it's time for us to cycle. We've got the money, we've got I'm stable in a job. Both of us are deemed pretty much as healthy as we can be right now. Except, of course, we're still waiting to hear back about my thyroid because, they couldn't have spent the last 2 years trying to test that. They had to wait until 2 weeks before we start our cycle. Of course. Sorry, I'm just going to apologize once more for my voice. So it's been, and I counted it, it's actually been 30 cycles that we have been putting off the IVF for. So to me, having to wait one more cycle is very frustrating. I know it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but to me, mentally and physically, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to get it over with. I don't want to be pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. Again, like I said, I'm not the most patient person in the world, and I know that I have to be for this, and I keep telling myself that. So I'm hoping and praying that, that in the next week everything's going to be sorted out, everything's going to come back normal, everything's going to be clear, and we're going to be good to go, and we'll be approved. But at this point, it's just a bit of a waiting game. So anyway, that's my update for now. I'm going to cut it short pretty much right now, just because I don't want to stress my voice too much. I'll try and update again in a day or so and give you guys a bit more information about all that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can let me know down below or send me a message, anything like that. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Bye.